sure you guys can hear me. Hello, 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 hello. Okay, okay. Okay, so whenever anybody gets in here, just send me a message. Let me know, A, if you can hear my mic, and B, out of these rooms that you are seeing here, I am up for, wrong page, these ones here, I'm pretty much up for any of these, half net, I just bought, I have no idea how to set it, so if you want to see me fail, that's the worst. And then anything else is just fair games. They're all games I have a good amount of experience with. I've written reviews on Steam for a couple of them, so I know them pretty well. And I just thought it would be a good starting point. We got nothing going on yet. Oh, okay, maybe that will help. The levels on this microphone are all over the place. So there we go. Yeah. Yes, now we wait. And so we've got until, I want to say, I'm going to give it like another 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and see who drops in. And then at that point, I will either take a bit of a break and just come back if there's still no one there, or I might just start one of these by my own choosing, so I see people show up. Oh, shit. Okay, looks like someone has actually joined. Hello. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't even figured this out enough yet to know who you are, but I love you. And so, yeah, we're trying to pick between these 5 games for my first stream. And keep in mind, I could swap between these at any time, but these are just a baseline for kind of what sort of mood I'm in. Oh, it's you. I love you too. Um, so yeah, this is just sort of the pre-party party. Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, I am. Tell me if it's any better now, because I put it closer to my mouth. I'm using my PS4 headset, which is obviously less than ideal. Um, so this is just a temporary thing, hopefully, because this is definitely not what I want normally. Actually, everything about this setup is kind of not ideal. So I'm currently using my laptop for both gaming and the stream, which I kind of underestimated how much it was going to tank my CPU. Okay, so if there's static, let me move it just a tiny bit. Okay. All right. Thank you for being my microphone diagnostics professional, because I've been feeling like a boomer for the past 25 minutes trying to figure out why I can't talk into it. Um, but I mean, at the end of the day, as long as I should probably point out I am actually kind of sniffly anyway right now, so some of it is just my natural charm, and some of it is technological failure. Uh, but yeah, so this should be a pretty fun experiment. I've already got a pretty good list of things to play, and I just thought it would be cool to share some of the less talked about games that I really enjoy, and just some ones that give me warm fuzzies, like Pajama Sam, probably one of the first computer games I played as a kid. Unreal Tournament I've been playing a long time, not that you would know from watching me. And so everything on this page I really enjoy. Hacknet is brand new, so that could really go either way. It really depends on what level my intelligence is at today, I suppose. But yeah, so I'm going to give it, I want to actually start around 6. So I think the plan for now is to just kind of sit here, let people filter in if they're going to, and then regardless of who's here at 6, I'm just going to start and we'll see what happens. But until then, anyone can go ahead and, oh, okay, so the static, I don't know, I'm trying to find a balance between it being close enough to my mouth so that y'all can hear me properly, but also far enough away that it's not creating static, which is going to be a process, I guess. But yeah, I mean, just bear with me. I'm pretty good with technology, but this is a whole new world, so we'll see what happens. And either way, I think it'll be fun. I have a lot of interesting ideas already for this channel, mostly gaming related, but also delving into some other things like, I was thinking reading stories and stuff. Just anything that allows me to express myself on here to people who care to hear it. But obviously the focus is going to be gaming because that's what I do the most is gaming. So, and to be honest, I think I have the widest breadth of knowledge in this sphere. I feel like I'm fairly qualified at this point in my life to speak pretty authoritatively on a lot of games. Whereas literal, like in literary discussion, I've read a lot. I enjoy reading, but I would not consider myself at the level of discourse where I would be comfortable presenting myself as an authority, like I kind of sort of would be with gaming, I guess. And just all that is just to say this is kind of just going to be me talking about and doing whatever comes to mind once a week or twice a week. And anyone who wants to come along for the wild ride is more than welcome. Although I will say, at least for the beginning, probably going to be mostly a focus on kind of low tech games, retro, fake retro, and, low system reps, just because my laptop is kind of old. It's a great laptop, but it's old, and I don't want to melt it in a horrible disaster by trying to play something too hard. And to be frank, AAA type games hold my interest a lot less nowadays than a lot of indie games, just because I feel like there's a lot more innovation in indies right now, and really for quite a while. I mean, not to say that there are no AAA games that I enjoy. I mean, you can see on my Steam account that I'm playing a few full price type games. I'm not averse to it. I've been playing Halo. I'm not going to say I don't enjoy it, but when it comes to sharing, I think I'd rather give people an experience that they really don't know much about as much as possible. I have a lot of friends who play Halo. I have a lot of friends who play, whatever AAA is out. Even a lot of friends who play a lot of indie games that are more talked about. But there's always been a lot of games that I really enjoy that I have never seen enough talked about. And so that's going to kind of be the objective here, is to bring some attention to them. Um, yeah, so that's my spiel. And let's see. Got like another 15 minutes here. My computer sounds a little bit like a jet, but yeah, let's see what happens if I do this. So I'm like literally setting up I'm trying to like, oh fuck, I mean, what, oh, okay, well okay. Maybe we'll just leave it on that. That's kind of cute, I guess. But yeah, so let's put that. I don't know why I'm not really clear on what this is. And just ignore me while I just talk to myself for a bit. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. So we're just going to go here. Oh, interesting. Apparently I can manage my channel entirely from my phone. Let's see what happens if I open the app. You're alive. Okay. I guess that this would be useful just for the sole purpose of sort of just for the sole purpose of I'm too lazy to alt tab, so I'm going to just do everything from my phone sort of deal. Which, to be honest, I might try right now just because, yeah, most of these games are going to run in full screen, and some of them do not play very nicely with alt tabbing for one reason or another. So I'm just going to try to sidestep that entire thing because, frankly, I just don't want to deal with it. So we're going to do that. And yeah, so just trying to pick. Gonna give it another few minutes. There's a couple other people who might hop in. But for now, just trying to choose where to start. I've got these 5 games here. These are kind of my launching off point for my stream right now. Not to say that I'm not open to trying anything else that's suggested, just more that this is kind of what I came into it with, the thoughts of doing. Um, so let's see. Personally, for me, the game here I'd probably be the most comfortable with, just jumping right into, would be World of Horror. It gives me a lot of opportunity for cool narration, which I'm always into. And, who doesn't like some old retro horror stuff? But, I'm not opposed to any of it. Just gonna give it a couple minutes here, see if anyone else pops up, and then we will go. Also, I've noticed that Twitch has a lot of really interesting, I guess, emojis. I know that I'm like really late to this, but I just have to say that some of these are really wonderful, especially this one. I don't know how Isaac got to be a Twitch emote, but I'm not complaining about it. He's pretty cute, and I think it expresses how I feel like 60% of the time before I've had my coffee in the morning. Yeah, that character is really adorable. I have no idea who she is. Oh, oh. There's just such a wide range of emotions being communicated through these emotes. I think I'm very quickly starting to understand why there's so many of these. Because a lot of these really express things that a normal emoticon, it just can't quite get across. Like, let me see if I can find a good example in here. I don't know, you know what though? I do enjoy this one, just because, I got me. And, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. I saw the PogChamp one in there, which to be frank, still do not understand the origin of it. But I already found the Salt one, which I'm pretty happy about. So yeah. And, oh, there is an actual gay pride one. That makes me so happy. I love it. I like that my first stream, 23 minutes in, my biggest accomplishment has been discovering that there is a gay pride kappa emoji that I can post. I gotta say, like, when I jumped into this, I had other things in mind, but that's okay too. The other thing is, when I start one of these games, I need you guys to just let me know if you can hear the audio, because in order to get my mic to work, I had to go in to my sound settings. Yeah, I know. These static sounds are awful. Okay, I moved it quite a bit further away. Is that any better? because I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know if maybe I should lower my mic volume. Maybe that's the issue. Let me see if I can. What about now? Because I boosted my audio all the way up thinking it would help my levels. But now that I think about it, it might have just been like flooding the mix and clipping out. So I moved that back down to where it belongs. I guess so. Is that any better? Is it any less staticky? Because if it's not, I think that we're just gonna have to go ahead and I'm gonna have to get a regular mic, a regular headset rather, or like an actual, you know, a real mic. It's like the Sound TV. Oh, really? Can you hear my voice though? So you can hear me, but it's like through static. I'm really not sure why we'd be doing that. Hmm. What's happening to my sound settings here? Let's see microphone. I don't know. I'm not really clear on what the issue is here. There's no levels that it's hard to hear now. See, that's the issue. Cause, yeah, it's because I had to turn it back down. Okay. Hmm. Kind of a pain, huh? Let's see. How about... I feel like I'm going to say the word how about now like 5 billion times tonight. So I apologize in advance. How about now? I'm so sorry that you have to hear this sloppy ass voice, but I just, yeah. It's weird because my laptop is literally meant for gaming, and so the headset port on the side is a headset port, not a headphone port. Like it shows a headset. But plugging the headset into that just seems to confuse Windows. So I don't know, but I guess for tonight's stream, as long as you can somewhat hear me, it shouldn't be that big of a deal, but it's definitely kind of a downer. Let's see. I wonder, what about like a noise gate? Or how about now? Does this help at all? I didn't even think of it. Didn't. Put on a noise gate. So maybe that will help. Zoom that's it before. There's also an option to convert to mono, but something that's gonna help. I don't know. I feel like that option for the noise gate and the noise suppression are really what help with this. So it's still choppy. I'm gonna kind of. Oh, okay. So it's a little better then. Still staticky, but not as. I only hear it when I. Okay, so need the noise gate turn on more judiciously because I have a demon voice. Volume is all the way up and you can barely hear me. Okay, I crank it back up. Can you hear me better now? Is it any louder? Should be a little bit louder. Is it any better? Should be at least quite a bit louder at this point. It shows it as at a decent level. That's annoying because I only hear it when you talk, but it's still muffling you. Okay. Maybe. even more. See, what I worry about, volume is better, but the static is still there. Okay, so I solved one problem. Now I think what I need to do is actually make the noise gate even more judicious in its application, I guess. I just turned it up again. I had no idea that it would be such a mess to get this headset to sound good. Um, so you can hear me. It's still staticky. I suppose I could try convert to mono and just see if that helps. I'm gonna do that, so just let me know. Now we're going to down mix. Let's try that. Is that any better? How about now? Is that helping? Is that any different at all? I down mixed one side of the headset, so theoretically, I think it should not be as much of an issue. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna. Go into my levels. It's like, oh wait, check. Hello, okay. Maybe I need it to be hello. Yeah, see, this headset itself is acting a little funny, actually. You don't think it's different? Okay. Yeah. All right. Man, that is super annoying. Oh, maybe I've been reading this. Okay. You know what? Let me try something else. Let's leave the noise suppressor on, but take the noise gate off. How is that? Is that at all better? Um, that's kind of my last ditch effort. So I hope that it helps a little bit. So I think the issue is that I have my noise gate blocking what I was saying. So it wouldn't activate unless I talked really loud. And so I would talk really loud and then it would click because I didn't have my noise filter on. Really, this is just not an ideal setup. There's really no two ways about it. But yeah, I mean, that, at least for tonight, I think is what I'm going to have to go with, unfortunately. Um, the only alternative would be to just not have a mic, which would be like kind of lame. I'd rather not do that. I mean, if people want to meet me, I guess it's fine, but I'd like to just be able to like speak shit, I guess. So I guess I'll leave it on, and I would just hope that it is not as ear piercing as I imagine it is. I mean, I know I have like a wonderful suave voice, so I would just hate for it to be destroyed by Windows. You know, Windows is the enemy. Windows just doesn't want my wonderful voice out there. That's really the issue. That's really what it comes down to. I figured it out. But yeah, so anyway, I am going to play some World of Horror, and I'm going to narrate it. So hopefully, um, yeah, hopefully my voice doesn't sound too miserable. But let's see. So we're gonna launch this. We're gonna see if Script Studio picks up that I have set applications, which it did not. So we're gonna go ahead. All right, and here we are. This is World of Horror. this is a early access roguelike horror game inspired by Junji Ito and a lot of Japanese horror, obviously. I was drawn immediately to it just because I'm a sucker for this aesthetic, and as you can see, it's easy to just, it's honestly quite a trip, and we're gonna check it out. Let me just see. Okay, so now I need to test if y'all can hear the game audio. There should be like some slightly creepy, some creepy music. So can you hear that? My levels say you should be able to hear it pretty well. But if not, I can change that as well. Oh, it is? Okay. Okay, what about now? Is that better? I like really cranked it down. So that might be way too low now. But according to my levels anyway, I should be much louder than the game, I think. Is it any better? I don't know, having the song stuck in my head. I'm gonna be like humming it when I go to bed later. Okay, cool. So you can hear me and you can hear the music. Okay, that is all I am. Oh, you just hear me. Okay. All right. Okay. Now. Okay. Well, the static is not our friend. Um, the static, I think, is one of those things where if you just ignore it, maybe it'll go away. Frankly, I mean, for my part, I don't even deal with it. So to me, it's already gone. But yeah, no, awful, awful static. Um, I'm gonna correct the situation very quickly because nobody wants to listen to that. Um, so let me just check. Okay, so everything should basically be in place, I guess. So let's just try this out. So I haven't played this in a while. I played a lot when it launched in early access, but they have updated it quite a bit. Um, and because I have some strange amount of confidence, I think I'm just going to do, you know what, I'll keep it at the normal difficulty. And so this menu here is kind of confusing to people who just started because these complexity things don't really mean all that much. The thing about this one here is that this is a mystery that you will encounter through all your playthroughs randomly anyway. But what this scenario does is only puts you through this one mystery just to get to grips with how the game works. The problem with that is there's a lot more to the game than what happens within the mystery. You have to make choices between them that are almost, if not more important, than your choices during the mysteries themselves. And so I kind of think that this is not the best tutorial. What I have always said, you know, this extracurricular activity playthrough is probably the better option. I know it has another little Cthulhu, but the character they start you with, the settings they give you by default here, are pretty conducive to a pleasant experience the first time. Um, but I do not really need this tutorial. So we are going to customize. I really like how this game does this. This game is presented as some sort of board game. The World of Horror base game. It's like a card game. As you progress, you start off with, I believe, just this base game box. And as you complete achievements, you get more. I actually still don't have all of them, and that's because this game is in early access and they're still adding more, which is honestly amazing because for the price of this game in early access, it already had a lot. And I have not even come close to discovering it all. So, anyways, this is where we're going to enter a seed. And just to be cute, I think I'm going to do for. This is obviously, I don't know what effect this is going to have, but we're just going to do her. I wish you could just type it first. But, first stream. So let's see what that will get us. And off we go. Something strange is happening. So this takes place in the 1980s, obviously, 1980s. Um, and basically what's going on is cult shit. You know, robed figures can be seen gathering in the woods at night before going missing. Disgusting creatures are terrorizing the seaside. And it's all presented in this gorgeous 1-bit or 2-bit art style. It really is like an old school Macintosh game. And honestly, what they did with it blows my mind. Sorry, I'm getting on a tangent here. This is probably going to be a running theme with me. I get a little too gritty when it comes to cool shit in games. So, just, Anyway, so rapid technological progress brings comfort and unknown threats. And what it all boils down to is that the old gods are going to awaken. And really, they're going to awaken pretty much no matter what we do. So this is more of like a fight to the best outcome you can get, not really a hero saves the day most of the time. The bad endings will almost always outweigh the good ones in this game. I can say that with confidence, but in a way, the bad endings are a reward all their own, and you'll see what I mean. So, so this is what we're doing. We're on discrete spells and dwindling sanity, and we're going to investigate mysteries across the city and in realms beyond. And so, this is the customization page. And this has changed quite a bit. All these boxes of new content were not here last time I played, so good on you. Uh, some of these characters, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, are shitty. I mean, not that they're poor characters, but that they are, you're fighting a losing battle if you pick them. However, some of them are broken beyond all belief. Um, so I am going to choose here. No, it's Aiko. So this chick here has some things that make a lot of the early games a lot easier. And just for the purposes of this initial stream, I'm going to go ahead and pick her because I think it'll give me a decent outcome. Over here are some sort of like character backgrounds you can see. I only have 3 unlocked. This is the basic one. This one is medical history. So this would show that basically I don't want to deal with doctors. I have a bad history of it. So I'm going to start with extra experience and extra bandages because I've been through a lot. But because of that, I might be a lot more frail and prone to injuries. And that ain't fun because injuries in this game are mostly permanent and really bad for you. So, not going to do that one. This one, I haven't really tried yet. This one, it seems that the cult, whoever they may be, already know about you. And so as soon as you get into town, you are going to be hit with more combat. Um, with, it could go either way. I mean, it gives you bonuses in other places, but this is all beside the point because we're just going to do a normal playthrough. I don't know why I just gave you that whole tirade. So there's 3 modes. We're going to pick classic mode, which is just you get in, You solve 5 mysteries, and then you get the end game. This is the way the game was originally intended to be played. They have added some other things. These, these scenarios, which I don't think really exist yet. And there's also endless mode, which is just keep going until you die. It's also a lot harder. And that being said, we're going to launch in here. A group of people gathered trying to awaken their master. And pick who they're awakening. There's 4 right now. There's Sock Atrashi, the spider god. There is Isaki, the devouring fire. I just realized that you forget it. So we got that one. There is the towering eyes, who I kind of think is really creepy. But my favorite is definitely Goizo, who appears in mirrors and teleports you. And so we are going to pick him because Goizo is just the coolest name, and I want to say it as many times as possible. So off we go. Banished to the other dimension a long time ago, Goizo has found a way to use mirrors to ensnare and teleport its prey straight through the glass. Glimpses of horror lurking behind your reflection are just the beginning. And so what you're going to see very quickly is, the god you choose is not just aesthetic. They all have different penalties, and in this case, every time I rest at home, my dream counter will advance, which is theoretically really bad, but in practice, I've never found it to be enough of a detriment that I wouldn't just pick Goizo every time because it's a predictable penalty, and I feel safe working around it. So that's what we're going to do. So this is the main screen, and it's kind of an information overload at first. But you'll see as we go that it's not quite as bad as you might think. It's really all you have to pay attention to most of the time is this screen in the middle. And so we're going to go to our house. You check your mailbox. It's empty. Well, why? What are we waiting for? You will find out. We're going to go up to the room. This is our house. We're not currently investigating any weird mysteries. Recent newspaper clippings can point you in the right direction. So in the house, there's a few things you can do. Some of them like that. Doesn't really matter, but it's just like for flavor, I guess. I think they've even added a couple more things in here since last time, which is honestly dope. But this is the room that really matters. There is one more thing I want to do. So the characters smell like different outfits, and some of them are really cute. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do because I just want schoolgirl look today. And so this is our little cult room where we just do all our creepy shit. And apparently we never had people over because if I went over someone's house and I found that they had a room that looked like this, I would run away. I really would. But that's kind of beside the point because we're in it now. So these are a list of mysteries that have been plaguing this town. We can do them in any order we want. And as you play more, you will find that there is a reason you might want to do some of these before others, mostly because some of these mysteries have the potential to end your run very easily. And some of them are basically you could get through it with your eyes closed. Generally what I do is I'll try to find whichever one is the most likely to end my run and take care of it first. Since if you take that out first, you're probably going to have a win unless you do something really stupid. Just for the sake of interest, and because I only have one ending on this still, we're going to do the tutorial mystery, Find Killing Story of School Scissors. I should probably point out that this is going to be a lot of spoilers for this game, obviously. If you're watching this stream, I guess you're fine with it. But yeah, here we go. This is usually the first case anyone has seen from this game. So. Another boy from your school has disappeared. Rumor has it a terrible woman has returned from the grave, a woman with the widest smile and the shortest teeth. You knew your friend was up to something and he left you a notebook full of secret notes. I can send her back where she belongs, she claimed. After he disappeared too, you decided to study the notebook for clues. It details a ritual that can stop the wicked woman once and for all. What's the worst thing that could happen? Well, I don't know. I mean, it all seems kosher to me. So this is the basic screen that you're going to interact with. Um, so this is just our description box. There's usually actions you can take. The only time we're going to have to worry about this whole section really is before, immediately before, during, or after combat. Most of the time, you're not going to have to pay attention to a whole lot of these little bars. It really is kind of overwhelming. Um, so, the school is eerily quiet at this hour. Your missing friend has left you a notebook. If the rumors are true, stop this tall woman with scissors. You'll need to perform a ritual to force the material form to appear in our dimension. Accomplishing this requires first the drawing of an eldritch sigil and then the lighting of holy candles. You can only hope your friend has left them somewhere around the school. Yeah, it would be nice if you just like left some eldritch lore lying around. Um, I guess. So we got options. There's access to storage, which we have nothing. For the school, for the ritual. We're gonna check out the school lockers because, if we're just checking the whole school out, people keep things in their lockers, let's see. Immediately, I don't really like that there's like apparently 3 people in the school who just like scribbling on their lockers with these slightly creepy symbols. Oh, okay. Well, that's not useful. That is slightly useful. So we found a wooden bat. Now this is kind of slightly a slow weapon normally. However, the character that I chose gets a speed bonus in combat. So this weapon actually becomes pretty good. And that's actually why I wanted to come here first, just to make sure. This locker is locked, and frankly, I don't think I've ever actually opened it. I don't think I've ever found the key for this, and if I have, I don't think I've managed to open it and see it, so maybe this time we will. Um, but yeah, so we got the bag. We can't perform the ritual yet. We don't have our candles or our scissors. We're going to explore the school. My little TV girl investigating the library. Now, this is the main way that you interact with the game. You explore a location, and it's essentially a dice roll of an encounter. Here's an encounter. A tall woman with an unsettling face and twitching lips stops you. I'll be your new biology teacher. Could you help me move some stuff to my new office? I always am attracted to a woman with pretty eyes, but I almost feel like this woman has too much eyes, so I'm gonna have to decline. She suddenly grabs your hand. I am free. Okay, so I got penalized. I lost 2 reasons. As you can see over here, this little brain. You have more than one health type in this game. You have stamina, which is basically regular health, and you have reason, which is basically sanity health. If either of these drop to 0, you die. Just in different ways. I just lost 2 reason, which honestly, I should have known better. She's going to do it either way. So we got to go help her. Now, as you can see, my luck is not the best. And I failed a luck check here, a background check. The creepy substance teacher hands you dusty old biological specimens. The rancid smell of formalin almost makes you drop the jar. Did fetuses have so many legs? So as you can see, we're already getting political here. Like, come on, we just started. I'm not even going to answer that. Moving on. I lost 2 stamina. Overall, not the best though. Typically, when you have a substitute feature, that's just how it looks like. So we still haven't found what we need for that scope. We are going to explore again. Now we're going to investigate a classroom. Why are we? Okay. The pool is empty at this hour. It's dark, but you could swear something suddenly moved under the surface of the water. Okay. So we are going to I mean, I feel like if we think we see something, we should probably just, yeah. Nothing in the water, which actually got us reason back. So you can gain it. You don't just reason. So, and then we're going to resolve that. Now, I could have taken the option to check the locker, which I almost always mess up. I'm almost certain that that's where you get the keys for the other locker. But, no harm, no foul. Moving on. It seems the blessed cross is left in the pool. So, we have a new option now that just says keep outside, which seems kind of loaded to me, but I'm kind of curious. Oh, what? This is new. This is entirely new content. I'm kind of scared. Oh, okay. Fuck you. You shouldn't risk that again. Well, I shouldn't have risked it the first time, to be honest. I could see his head. I knew that this game was going to jump scare me like that. I really deserved it. I deserved what I got. You enter the damp-smelling sport room. You notice a backpack drifting on a swimming board in the middle of the pool. Could it be what you were looking for? I don't know, but I ain't getting in there. Are you kidding me? Yeah, of course we're not alone in the pool. So now we're going to prepare for combat. Now, combat in this game is not really meant to feel fun or empowering. It's kind of meant to feel terrifying. I don't get as anxious just because at this point I kind of know what we're doing. But there are a lot of options here, and there are a lot of penalties and choices that come with those options. Um, like what I just did with the computer. So you have this one move which is pretty important. You can prepare your attack, which guarantees you an extra shot to hit. So if you use that strategically enough, you can guarantee you're doing at least 4 damage every turn. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but it does add up. And that's not figuring in the other attacks you can still fit in. Um, so yeah, we took care of him. And we got the shot. So that's cool. So that's the sigil that we need to draw. And if I remember correctly, we do actually have to, that may or may not be the correct sigil. You can actually cycle through quite a few of them. And sometimes the text at the bottom will imply that one of these is correct. But you can absolutely not trust that, as I've learned the hard way like a million of them times. But I'm going to pick that one because it kind of looks like this down here. Now, we still need the candles, so we're going to take one more. Explore. We're in the gym. As you enter the school gym, you notice a strange black doll propped up against the wall. If I had this perk, anatomy class, there is another action I could perform here, but I don't. So we're just going to walk up to it. Against your better judgment, you approach the doll. What you see makes you gasp in horror. The doll isn't a doll. Your sudden movement causes tiny black spiders to flee, revealing a white half-eaten corpse. -2 reason. I think I'd lose a little more than 2 reason if I saw that in my school gym. But I'm happy. It's fine. The sound of Susie is getting louder, which basically means this is kind of the, we're running out of time. I need to find that. I need to find the candle. So I'm really going to hope that I get them. What? Oh, where'd you go? Oh, oh, okay. Oh, so apparently somehow I found the candle. I wonder if that is the symbol, the 3 circle thing. Uh-oh. You take a step back as a writhing amorphous mass slowly takes shape. Soon it becomes a tall, woman-like creature with 3 faces, all connected by a wide smile. Now it is your chance to fight and defeat this horror. It is also your only chance. Yeah, I actually just stumbled onto this. I must have done the ritual correctly. Let's do it. Twisting and twitching, the demon woman enters the classroom, cackling menacingly. Am I beautiful? I'm gonna go with no. So basically how combat works is this bar represents how many actions you can take. Out of 200 points, all these take up different amounts. Like for instance, preparing my attack is 36. A regular attack is 69. So with my 200, I can guarantee one attack and always place another one. The other thing is over here, you can see the enemy stats. He's got 20 health. So if I do this and I last 5 turns, I'm guaranteed to win. But that's not the best strategy either, because he's going to be 2 to both of my health both each turn. So I might survive, but I'm not going to get a win out of it. So we're going to have to use some strategy, but let's just see how this goes. So we got it down to 8. I'm going to take a bit of a risk here and just put in 3 attacks and hope to. There we go. Okay, so that actually went really smoothly, even though my stamina and reason are both really low. So we got the ending A, which is new for me. Ancient horror lies dead on the classroom floor, slowly dissolving into nothingness. You find your friend gravely wounded but alive. You help him and you limp away from the school as the police sirens get louder. So we got ending A. There's usually an A, B, C, D, and sometimes an E ending for each mystery. Usually A is, I'm not going to say the good ending. A, I'll call the most complete ending. Generally, it ends with some sort of resolution of some kind. A lot of the other ones, you end up a little more confused or you really get no information. So we're doing all right. We've got one mystery solved. And so here's our reward. We got 30 experience points. We got our dream counter to go down, which, yeah, that's always nice. We got 1 youth and 1 stamina back. So that's not really the best reward, but I'm just glad that I managed to do it. So the old god stirs. The whole town stops receiving any outside signal. It must be the radio mass failure. So in between every mystery, things are going to happen in the town that are going to change how you interact with it. That one, I don't think is that big of a deal, but some of them can really mess you up. So you go back to your house. Inside your mailbox, you find a small key. What's it doing here? So now we've got this key. You might notice that there's 5 spots, one for each mystery. Pretty obvious. In between mysteries, though, you can do some other things. And one of the things is take a bath, um, and that will restore some of your stuff. So you can pick. You can either get extra stamina, you can get extra reason back, you can get an XP boost, which honestly I don't think is worth it ever. I am going to go with reason because a lot of choices take away reason. So we did that. And then you can also go to the town and that's not what I meant to do. Where's my map? Oh yeah, I have to pick a mystery first. Okay, so we did this one. This is complete. So now we got Far Out Fable of the Fear Festival. We got Eerie episode of Evolving Ears. We have Curious Case of the Contagious Coma. And we have Chilling Chronicle of the Crimson Street. I haven't played long enough, but I don't actually know which of these is the best choice to do next, but I do know that this Fear Festival one has killed me many times. So we're just going to knock it right out because I just don't want to deal with it. So, your aunt had sent you a letter inviting you for a curious sounding festival. It's held every 27 years in a small village. You don't like the sound of it, but your parents both agree you need a break from all the stress. Inside the letter, there's a bus ticket. What's the worst thing that could happen, you ask yourself as you board the bus? Well, that is always the question, right? In every one of these mysteries. You'd think she would catch on. So, just when you thought your stomach couldn't handle it anymore, the janky old bus stops at its destination. You get up and take a deep breath before looking around. It's a small village, and the nearby fields are surrounded by a thick forest. Someone is waiting for you? I mean, if I continue, does that mean that someone isn't waiting for me? We're just gonna say hi. A fat man wearing dusty overalls approaches you. It's the inn owner who promised to pick you up. Following close behind him, your eyes are drawn to his hands, which are so deformed that they resemble claws more than hands. I'm sure that won't be a problem later. Your group has arrived in the village and is currently unpacking at the inn, giving you some time to explore. Festival begins at evening. So this next be is kind of out of the ordinary because you're not in the town. You actually are in a completely different village. And I'm gonna be real, I don't know how to get the good ending to this. I don't know. So I'm just gonna kind of do what seems like a good idea. So, Jim's room is dusty, like it hasn't seen any visitors in years. You wonder if anyone cleaned it since the last festival 27 years ago. There's a folder of available activities lying on the table. Alright, well that's always true. So we can relax, which will probably restore some health. We can go get some onsen, which, I mean, that should be good. We'll do that. Oh. Onsen is hot spring. I thought that was something else. I'm not an expert at that. I don't know. So that got us 2 stamina back, so that ain't bad. We're up in the double digits for both of our messes here, so we are going to explore the weird village. Walking through the village, you're suddenly pulled behind a building. Two menacing-looking masked figures block your escape. Do you serve the old one? Well, I don't know. Do we serve the old one? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I do. Yep. You knew it. The prophecies were true. The masked figures relaxed a bit, taking off their masks. We apologize for this. So I did totally lie to these guys, but it worked, and they joined me as allies. Which, I mean, it's good and bad. Allies in this game can come with a host of different abilities, which is great. The problem is, in combat, I think they basically die immediately, like upon anything happening to them. And then they're just gone. So they're really kind of like a temporary item more than a companion. I guess that sounds kind of sociopathic, but the game makes it that way. I swear, you will see. Feeling hungry, you've entered a small local restaurant and ordered the daily special made with safe text. Just where the hell did their fishermen go? I don't know. I mean, that looks pretty standard to me. Except these kind of look a little buggy, but I mean, you eat a bug once in a while. You gotta open your horizons up. I'm gonna say one bite won't hurt. Feeling the eyes of the restaurant's guests on your back, you take a small bite of the smelly seafood. It's surprisingly good, but you kindly refuse another serving. So that actually was a success. I don't really want to know what would have happened if we failed, so we're just gonna move on. A weird sound wakes you up. You step closer to the window and look out. You can't see anything and get ready to go back to bed when suddenly the moon comes from behind the thick clouds. Three hooded figures are standing at the forest edge. One by one, they light their torches and disappear behind the trees. What was that about? Who are they? They all wore strange masks. Did you follow them into the forest to try to find more information about the festival? Well, since those cult dudes seem to think we're a part of them, maybe we can just go in there. Investigate an abandoned house. In the forest, you hear faint whimpering in the distance. When you find it, you discover a wild dog held by the hind leg in a bear trap. The dog growls menacingly when you get closer. I mean, who is gonna say don't risk it? It's a dog. We're helping it. I failed, but it's okay. You free the dog, but the rescue mechanism snaps and the trap closes on your hand. Sucks, but I have no regrets. So that we didn't really uncover anything. So let's try that again. Alright. While wandering through the woods, you discover strange carvings on one of the trees, and by the look of them, they were made recently. Could they be connected with the current mystery? Well, I don't have a camera, so I can't save a picture. I can't take a selfie in the forest like Jake Paul. So, try to decipher the sign. You're certain the missing people were here. You're on the right trail. Well, it's a creepy forest. Would we need a knowledge check? Cool. Someone is watching from behind the trees. So that's cool. It happened. What you thought was just a discarded pile of clothes suddenly moved. As it stands up, a cloud of white powder is released into the air. Um, alright. Looks kind of like a friend of mine. Alright, so see your allies here, they have this option, send against enemy. Notice it doesn't say attack, and that's because you're literally, like, you click this, that attack's out one damage, so they're gone, they're dead. And same deal with this guy, gone, for one damage. And that's why I say allies in this game, I don't know, I'm not going to say they were poorly implemented. Some of them do have a great purpose, but I just wish they had slightly more combat application. Um, so, notice that, okay, so we're going to do the same strategy that we were doing because that was working pretty well for us. Holy crap, this guy hit. Oh, he doesn't have a second. Keep messing with that second attack. That's usually what ends up killing me. And usually I think I would have gained a level by now, but I had kind of a. I haven't had as many combat encounters as you normally would. Okay, so this battle has gone as badly as it could because I don't think I'm coming out of this one. I don't think I'm gonna make it out of this mystery. Like, I won, and that's cool, but I'm only at 5 stamina, 3 reason, and like, that's probably not. That's not it. Going back to the inn, we overhear two masked villagers. They're talking about something awakening the next dawn. You wonder what's up with that. It's not safe here. Well, we've known that, right? You decide to block entrance to your room with a nightstand. I'm sure a nightstand will stop the supernatural beast from murdering you. I mean, what else? I mean, what else are you gonna do? So, see, villagers seem to follow you every step here. Alright, well, I'm just gonna keep exploring this forest. It's definitely the most interesting place. Following a trail of rotten fruit, you stumble on a small forest shrine, probably dedicated to some local spirit. The small statue looks alien and menacing. Yeah, that does not look like a this looks like a small bomb of some kind. But I mean, I'm not one to judge what people believe in, so let's just try at it. Kneeling by the shrine, you discover a small piece of paper tucked behind the statue. 5 EXP, and what's really kicking the nads about this is that I'm at 99, and you level up at 100. When you level up, you get health back, and I'm probably gonna die before I get the 1 XP to do that. So that's cool. But we'll just, carry on. That's what we do. See, oh, actually, I leveled up. Okay. So when you level up, this flashes. Leveling up in this game is a little weird. So you get a different perk that each do different things. So this one's +1 dexterity. This one's smaller doom penalty, which I'm never going to run from combat if I'm playing this character, so that's a non-choice. And +1 charisma. Now my charisma's at 6. My dex is at 8. So we're going to take the charisma. And then with each level that you gain, you can also either recover some stamina or reason, or you can actually just directly put a point in one of these. Now, I am just going to take some reason because I don't want to die. So there it is. Hearing some rustling behind a bush, you decide to hide behind a tree. There, you spot 3 men, each armed with a rifle. They're obviously looking for something or someone. So reveal yourself or run. So if I run, they've all got guns, so if they want to kill me, it's obvious where I am anyway. So I think that really the only option here is to just reveal myself. Um, so that's what we're gonna do. You succeeded. Hey there, says the hunter. This forest is not safe at this hour. What are you doing here? You try to ask about the danger, but they just hand you a flashlight and point you to the nearest road. Something tells you you shouldn't get on their nerves, and you do. So that's cool. So we got this flashlight, which gives you one perception if it's equipped. And we can have it equipped at the same time as something else, which is even better. Because I think we can use it for other stuff. Um, so yeah. So we did that. Move on. Why is it so quiet all of a sudden? We dropped blood. Where is everybody? Trail of blood and sickly smelling sludge leads to an outskirt of the village. Somewhere in the dark forest, there's an answer waiting for you. Okay, so the whole village appears to have been massacred. And in response, instead of getting the hell out, we are going to go back into the forest where the murderers are certainly hanging out. Which, overall, I feel it. I get it. It happens. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's see. We have 4 actions until sunrise, which is significant because something is awakening. Now, I think in order to get the best ending here, I can't rest. So we're going to take a bit of a calculated risk and just keep looking. While exploring the factory, you are caught by masked people you've seen from the inn's window. Tied up, they bring you to the cult leader. You knew you'd come. You hear a raspy voice, your aunt's voice, coming from behind the priest's weird mask. He signals towards the door behind him. Our master's waiting for final blood sacrifice. Now, you might see that there would be an option here, and it would probably get me out of this bind, but I can't pick it because I made a mistake earlier, so we're just going to try to struggle. Well, that ain't great. What happened? With a loud bang, the ancient horror disappears, and the high priest falls to the floor, grabbing her shoulder. The last thing you see before blacking out are the beams of flashlights in the hand of a police officer saving you from a fall. Later that day, detectives interrogating you are confused when you tell them about the ritual blood and eldritch beings. Village is abandoned with no trace of blood anywhere. You are the only one seeing the ancient horror. Ending A. So again, we got ending A. We're kind of on a roll here. I'm feeling pretty good about it. Let's see what we get for a reward. Well, you couldn't catch the leader of the cult to interrogate him. The people are safe. You board the old bus, wondering what would happen if you didn't stop the ritual in time. I can tell you what would happen. It ain't good. So we got another 30 XP. That's cool. We got actually even more because we got a thorough investigation. So go up. We got some doom removed, +1 for each. That's cool. Overall, pretty good. Let's see what's going on here. Roads leading out of town were closed by the police. You'll have to find a new way out. I'm not, I'm not really that worried about it. We're gonna stay here anyway. So we got another key, and I'm gonna have to stop. I'm gonna take a bath, and we are going to recover extra stamina. So that way we've got at least 8 of each. We're going to change our outfit again because it's important to always have your stuff. And what are we going to investigate next? So we still have 3 left. We got the eels, which, we got contagious coma, and we got crimson kitten. Now, I think that this one I'm going to save for last because it's really easy. So one of these two, I think I'm going to go for this one because I don't have all the endings on the phone. So. Okay. More and more people fall unconscious and cannot be awakened. People trying to wake the patients up result with them falling into a coma themselves. A whole wing of the town's hospital has been dedicated to the comatose. Is there anything connecting these people? And how did this strange illness start? find out. Let's check the news reports about this weird disease and try to find the cause before more people fall asleep. So this is actually more akin to what your game is going to look like, the most mysteries. So these are all locations you can go. Some of these are related to the mystery. They usually circle the one that you need to go to immediately. However, you can also go downtown where there's two important stops. Police station, you can make it less likely to get combat, which is double-edged sword. You can also trade in experience points for money, which again, double-edged sword. It really depends on what you need. I have 4 funds, which isn't a lot. But if we pay a little bit of doom, we can go to the dog shop. And I do mean dog shop, because look at this good boy. Yeah, that's right. You can boost the sneeze. I mean, like, what more? Like, this is 10 out of 10 game of the year. But over here, we have a bunch of different things you can buy. I find it interesting that the dog is selling dog treats that you can buy, and if you have them, he'll sell you stuff for cheaper. Why would he not just eat them? Is this like a, if he just likes having this level of control over people with his treats? Like, what? I don't know. Anyway, cigarettes you never want to buy because they're addictive, and I actually need in game. The more you use them, the more you're going to need to use them. And if you don't, they're going to hurt your stats. So we're just not going to do that. We are going to buy, we're going to buy a stone kit because that will heal us up. It will also lower our charisma, but I'm not as worried about that. And the reason it lowers your charisma is obviously because my rest gets stuck stars on this, so there's no one else to look at that. So we're going to travel to the school. This over here, Patient Zero, this is a extra mission. Most mysteries that you do will have one of these, and they'll give you some sort of benefit. They don't really tell you what it's going to be. I don't think this one's all that important. So we need to go to the school, and we're going to go to the library to try to see if we can find any information. And you make notes. Okay, so that's good. Let's put some news reports here. No, let's just try doing this side test. We'll investigate the village twice and see if that gives us any information. No one answers when you knock at Professor Takayuki's door. This is odd, since he's normally punctual about his appointments. The smell of blood tells you that something's wrong, and you quickly open the door and make your way inside. There's no sign of the professor, but the quantity of blood everywhere leaves little doubt as to what's happened. But how? And why? So, we got technically 3 options, but really 2. Search for clues, search for items. Clues are more important. But we failed, so we didn't find anything. Down a police science force you jump through a broken window and you're injured. I got fractured ribs, which takes 1 off my dexterity. Yeah, jumping out a window, I could have done much worse. We're going to investigate it again just to complete this quest. You try to leave the masked man that has been following you the whole morning. You eventually find yourself in a dead end. Looking for a way out, you hear a branch snapping behind you. Holy shit. It's like a snake man, I guess. He's got 26 health, but he only damages stamina by 1. So I think we're fine here. I keep missing that second attack. Really, I wonder if I can do... Can that help? Yeah, okay. We're gonna do this. So this guarantees a hit. Let me just see. But this twice can pretty much also guarantee a hit. So that's actually, I have not been using that correctly. So you do, there we go. Alright, we took care of this weird Yakuza looking snake man or so. An old man from the village hands you a package. This could help you understand the illness. Okay, I don't know if I believe him. Gust of seeing just sounds like a weird term for coke in the 80s. Momentarily renders invisible creatures partially visible. Alright, well that's just frankly terrifying. So let's just investigate here for some more information. You carefully enter the biology classroom. The room seemed empty at first until you switched the lights on. You gasped in horror. Lying in a pool of blood is one of the teachers with a fruit knife in their hand. There's a jar of formaldehyde on the nearest table. Mesmerized by the spiral pattern on the sea creature's skin, you step over the dead body and come closer. And then the voices start. Ooh, forgotten specimen. Yeah, I ain't about it. So, gonna take it down. He doesn't have a lot of health and he doesn't do a lot of damage. So I'm not that worried about it. Hopefully I don't eat those words for like 2 seconds. No, we did. Wait, what's that? Excuse me, pick it up. Ew, gross. Alright, well we found a lump of flesh, which, I mean, ew. Apparently you can use it to gain 5 stamina, but it adds new status, which I find like a little too vague for my comfort. Uh, so, so we won't be doing that. It's undulating slowly. Okay, I ate recently, so I'm just gonna not read this description. Um, so reports mention a patient zero. Who could they be? Well, let's investigate downtown and see what we find. The road seems to twist and turn when you're not looking, trapping you in this neighborhood. Oh, I've been there, dude. Did you take too many dabs? I've been there. I know how it is. And I don't have a map, so I literally have to choose get lost. Like, you couldn't just make it happen. Add insult to injury. You spend hours trying to find a way out. Finally, completely exhausted, you end up on the main street as the passage to the blighted neighborhood slowly closes behind you. I would just never live in this town. I don't know why people keep living in this town. You have to sneak into the hospital and borrow the patient zero's information. We have to. There's no way we could go about this in like a, I don't know, legal fashion. I mean, where would the fun be in that? Let's see what we find. You enter the hospital looking for information about a certain patient. The main corridor is dark and strangely empty. You spot a nurse at the registration booth. She's asleep from exhaustion. Understandable. Why? Okay, so we got 3 options. Why is set crash channel fire an option here? Like, and these options are functionally the same. We're just gonna do this. Oh no. You're thrown out of the hospital. Well, that ain't the best. But we still managed to get the name and address somehow. So now we know where to go. Someone has been branding the patients with occult symbols. Well, not really my problem. So, branded like cattle. Are they preparing a feast for their eldest masters? Maybe. Kind of out of the scope of our investigation. Let's go back downtown. Experts are baffled by the sudden appearance of 20 stone statues lined up in a row in the middle of the Triple Zero Park. You can cast one spell without paying anything. That would be great. I don't know any spells. This is actually one of the most beneficial events you can get because spells cost a good amount and they all help you a good amount. So I'm kind of disappointed, but we'll just move on. That man dabbled in magic. You found a journal describing a certain village and instructions for a summoning ritual. It seems that he tried to contact a being from the dream realm. Always, always a bad choice, in my experience. A sudden growl coming from behind the corner makes you stop. Oh, Jesus. Okay. You want to know how I got these scars? Okay, so she's got 22 health. She does 2 stamina, so I'm on a clock. I'm on a clock in the saddle. I got 4 turns. to do 22 damage, which like it's doable, but it's kind of unlikely. So this could be the end of this run, but I'm gonna stay positive. Let's see. So far, so good. All right, I think we got this. Uh oh. Okay, now we might be in trouble. Okay. All right, we did it. The quarantine ring is closed. If guarded closely, you must find a way to sneak through. Well, we did very well with this before. Maybe I should eat this lump of flesh. It sounds like I just said that out loud. As part of the therapy, As part of the therapy, some patients take part in art classes. Some of their work fills you with dread. God, is it like some edgy deviant art furry stuff or something? Probably. Resolve. Okay. There it is. Target location. Alright, so in we go to the quarantine ring. Now, interesting note, I've never actually made it to this area with the stuff of seeing item before, so let's see what it does. You've managed to sneak through the floor, avoiding the police, and finally reach the quarantine ring, where all the coma patients were brought in. Their pulse is slowly weakening, and the blood pressure dropping. You must hurry. 1 second. So now we have this option. So I think we can kind of piece together what's going on here, but let's just see it. Oh, it's actually creepier than I thought. Following the old man's advice, he threw the dust of seeing in the air. I don't think he said to throw it in the air. It reveals weird, elongated monsters hanging from the ceiling, one above every bed. Each creature is connected to a patient with an undulating tendril. As you try to process everything, one of the disgusting creatures raises its head and looks in your direction. I might be in some trouble here. You know what? I hate to even do this, but oh no, what is this? Okay, that don't matter. Okay, so I had to eat the flesh. That's really gross, but just the creature causing a contagious coma plaguing your town has taken notice of you. You must defend yourself or perish. Oh God. Okay, I'm not into it. And I'm also definitely gonna die here because there is zero chance of me doing 38 damage in 3 turns, which is all I had before I'm dead. Whoa, wait. I do have this option. Oh God, alright. So here's my options. I'm gonna die if I try to fight this guy straight up. I can deal a lot of damage to him on each turn by unplugging the life support of one of the patients, which he's drawing his strength from. But every time I do that, one of them will die. So the option here is there really is no option. I'm not going to do that. So if this is where this run ends, that's what it is. I morally do not agree with that other option. And even if it gives me a better outcome, I would kind of feel it. So, I mean, there's very little way that this ends positively for me unless he misses a lot. Which, no, I don't think so. But that's okay. All good things come to an end. And bam. Yep, I am done. Except you get one more turn, I think. Is it one more turn or one more encounter? Let me find out. It doesn't really matter because I'm gonna die either way. Yeah, see? Alright. That encounter was the final straw. Your mind has snapped and you've been locked up in an asylum. It would be comforting to accept that you were insane, that no old god is awakening to devour humanity, but the drugs haven't made those horrors disappear. You've perished because of death, stamina loss. Okay, that's fine. I think we did really well because I actually managed to unlock a couple new achievements and I got a couple new endings. Before I end this, I'm just going to show you I mentioned that this game has a lot of content, but I didn't really show exactly what I meant. And it's not really apparent just from looking at one playthrough, but you'll see in here that there's like a pretty extensive amount of encyclopedia things. So these are all endings you can get generally for the game. I'm not going to go through all of them because some of them are pretty big spoilers, but I only have 57% of them, and I've done many places of this game, and they're adding more. But that's not the most impressive to me. These two things here blow my mind. So in all my playthroughs, I've unlocked about a third of these, and some of these I had to really work on across multiple playthroughs to set up. This one was incredibly hard to get. And all of these, pretty much without exception, unlock new things. They're not just cosmetics. It's all new outfits, new mysteries, new items. And on top of that, you can literally look here and see every event that can pop up in the game, of which there appears to be at least 150 distinct events, which is kind of insane because the writing quality in these events and the mechanics are all so unique. I can't say enough good things about this game. So I'm definitely going to play more of it, and I'm definitely going to come back with a better vocal setup, I suppose. Um, Try to take care of this choppiness, whether that be through a boom mic or a better headset, or something. Either way, according to the schedule I put, it says every Tuesday, but I frankly am probably going to be doing this every night to some degree, um, whether people show up or not, just because honestly, this is a lot of fun. So, yeah, so I hope that it looks like there was only two in here, but that's cool. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, so I will see you guys tomorrow night. Yeah, we'll say tomorrow night. And we're going to say that tomorrow night we are going to, tomorrow night we will maybe do another run of this, but the thing about this game is as much as I love it, it's a lot of reading, which tends to make things a little slower paced, which is fine with me. But if y'all would rather see something a bit faster paced, I'm super open to that. I'm also super open to playing like a ton of Tales of Montreal on stream because I could talk about and play this game forever and never run out of things to say. This is one of those games that I have like an unbound amount of passion for. So that might be my next thing. So if you're in the roguelike, if you're in the roguelike game, um, I will definitely be spending some time with this on stream. So that should be cool. This Pajama Sam is really, I put it there because I want like the Ruby 2 to play. But it's kind of a placeholder because one of the ideas I had for this channel was to just try to play a lot of adventure games, point and click, that I haven't played and rightfully should have. I didn't really play as many PC games as good as I would have liked. And there are a lot of classic point and clicks that I frankly don't have any experience with. Um, so if that's a genre that y'all are interested in, I own quite a few of the classics on here that I have not even cracked open. So that's a definite option. Uh, but yeah, planning on doing this again tomorrow night. And until then, I hope you all have a wonderful night.